It is time to breathe again on this latest Breath of Fresh Air Shorty with your host, Charles Taylor. So, today I am here for this edition to talk about the huge mega deal the quarterback Josh Allen signed with the Buffalo Bills back on Friday. So, the deal is 6 years, $258 million. So on an annual average, it is 43 million per year. Now, of course, there's different provisions, different structuring with this. It sounds like it's a little bit more backloaded than it is front loaded because it's kind of a carryover from the option that was picked up for the year. So it just depends, I guess, on the language of the contract. But basically, this is what you have. If you're the Buffalo Bills, you have your franchise quarterback in place for the long haul, and therefore you have the cornerstone to build around for the rest of the team. For Josh Allen, obviously, hey, you're a wealthy, wealthy man now. Just simply put. Now, of course, it's been debated and it will continue to be debated on whether or not Josh Allen deserves that type of contract. Couple of things here. Number one, you are worth what a team is willing to pay you. Simply put, if a team feels you are worth giving 43 million per year to 40 million per year, 39 million per year, 35 million per year, whatever the case is when it comes to these quarterbacks in the National Football League, then you are worth it. We can debate it all day long whether or not we think they are worth it. Because, of course, I would tell you, I don't think any of these quarterbacks are worth the money they get, to be honest. Yes, some are better than others. You can make an argument for Tom Brady, of course, since Tom Brady has generated 7 championships. But in terms of the overall picture, the overall scale of life, no, I think these football players or sports players get way too much money as it is. But that is how society is, and the way the contracts are structured, they are going to get millions and millions of dollars. And that there's really nothing you could do about it, to be honest. So we could debate that all day long, and then we can debate how much these quarterbacks are worth. Would we pay this much for them? Would we not pay this much for them? It just depends on who you believe, what you think about the value of the quarterback for any given team. So, again, number one, a team is, if they're willing to pay you that much, then I guess that is your worth. Number two, we have to remember one thing about these contracts. And I know I've said it many times on the webcast. You've heard me on there with Patrick Brackett a lot of times. One key thing about the contracts is you are not being paid for what you did in the past as much as you are being paid for what a team thinks you are going to do for them in the future. That is the key. So, in paying Josh Allen this contract, the Buffalo Bills are saying they can be a perennial Super Bowl contender and possibly get one or two Super Bowl titles. That's what that deal says to me. They feel Josh Allen, who is in his mid 20s, if that old, is gonna be a guy who can lead them to the promised land. Now, based on what has happened in the past, he's had, I say, 1.5 good years out of the 3 years he's there. First year he came in the middle of the year, and a lot of the reviews he had coming out of college, out of Wyoming, was he has a strong, strong arm, but he is wildly inaccurate. In the first year he was in there, that proved to be true. Second year, you saw him start to make improvements, but he still had a low completion percentage compared to what you would like to see from a pro quarterback. But last year, he was at an MVP level. If it wasn't for the ridiculous year Aaron Rodgers had and what Patrick Mahomes was doing down in Kansas City, then Josh Allen probably would have been your MVP last year in leading the Buffalo Bills to the championship game, the AFC championship game. Of course, they got bounced out by the Kansas City Chiefs and the aforementioned Patrick Mahomes. But this contract, I think it's a good fit. Now, both parties were happy with each other. So if you have that, if you have a team that wants you to be there, and if the player wants to be in Buffalo, why not get this deal done? Go ahead, cinch it up, and then you can move on with the business of building around him or continuing to build around him. Josh Allen has identified himself with the culture of Buffalo, the community of Buffalo, the city of Buffalo. Bills Mafia loves him. Everything about this says this is a fit. And I'm glad to see this deal get done for Josh Allen. And I'm probably happier about this deal than other deals I have seen, but that's left to be debated for another day. That's not what it's about. But as far as the fit with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, it is a perfect fit. And I think it's good for both parties. Josh Allen is a wealthy, wealthy man, and for the Buffalo Bills, they have their quarterback of the future, somebody they can build around. Since the days they had Jim Kelly back in the early '90s, when they went to 4 straight Super Bowls, and unfortunately for them, they lost all 4 of them. But they were a perennial Super Bowl contender with Jim Kelly as the quarterback, and they're hoping for days like that with Josh Allen, and maybe they can perhaps break through and win a Super Bowl with him at the helm. So now you have the contract in place. What you need to watch for going forward is what happens with the contract going forward. And what I mean by that is, yes, on the surface, huge deal. This deal has been compared to the one Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott signed a few months ago, which was a 4-year extension worth $160 million, $40 million per year. And of course, Patrick Mahomes' contract, the richest in the history of the league, like a 50 million per year average, generational, the changing contract. But Patrick Mahomes, after last year when the Chiefs got blasted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, he gave money back to help build the team around him. It would be interesting to see if Josh Allen starts to do that same thing, if they're coming up short somewhere on whatever level of the team, whether it's the defense with the linebackers, defensive line, cornerbacks, if the offensive line needs to get upgraded. You get a few receivers, although the core of receivers they have, led by Stephon Diggs, is really, really good. Maybe the running backs might need some upgrading. It remains to be seen to see how that will get managed going forward. But I look at Josh Allen without really knowing him. I look at him and I see a guy who is team first and will be willing to put a little bit of money aside to help the team get better. So this is the key with it. You could talk about the contracts all day. You can talk about whether or not a player is worth the money they get all day long. But again, it's about the future, not the past. And also, if you are talking about quarterbacks, all these guys want to do what Tom Brady is doing. But if you're going to do that, you have to be willing to do things Tom Brady does. What he does is take less money so the team around him can continue to build and put them in a position to where they can compete for Super Bowl titles. I look at Josh Allen, I think he would be that guy. You see Patrick Mahomes is doing it. You saw the Atlanta Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan do the same thing. Now, the Falcons aren't really close to winning a Super Bowl title right now in my eyes, but it's good to see the quarterback saying, "Hey, I want to compete for titles, so I'm willing to give a little bit of money back." So that's what you need to look for, or that's what I would think you need to look for going forward. Yes, the contract sounds big as a whole, but as you go forward, there's going to be some restructuring. There's going to be a little bit of tinkering with the contract to see what they can get with the team going forward. Tom Brady is the standard. If guys want to be like him, they have to be willing to do those type of things. I see Josh Allen doing that. Guys like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, to this point, they haven't been willing to do that, and now they're complaining about everything around them. So, like, it's their fault because again, you're the elite quarterback there. You should be able to elevate them, but that's how they're doing business. And again, if they're not gonna do the things Tom Brady does, then I guess they'll continue to come up short. Well, that is what I'm breathing on for this shorty. You guys make sure y'all go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel and smash that subscribe button and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. So I am your host Charles, and I will see you later on this week. Y'all take care and happy Monday.